Hey, you're heading to the village, right? Tiernan should let you in. Take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. You shouldn't have trouble finding him. I can't promise that talking to him will be any fun. Come to me afterwards.
Ah, he used to serve too. In fact, he was the builder before me. Now he's just an old fart angry at the world.
But a father is a father, right? We may hate each other, but as long as I can help him, I will. Hence, the medicine.
If Haber doesn't know, then I don't either. So we keep trying. Because he received orders not to let any keeper through without a pass, and I don't have one. I've already used mine. Guess what I used it on? That's right, bringing medicine to my father. When that Egypt gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled into an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Nothing gets through him. Not all keepers have been here their entire life, you know? He got me before he joined the Horse. Serves me right for wanting to find him, stupid son of a bitch. If only I knew what it would entail. If I had a gold coin for every time someone asked me that, I could fund the damn thing myself. Look, it's Camelot's orders. I get paid to follow them, not to question them. If they want to throw money at us to keep up appearances, that's their problem. I'm not about to stop them. I don't know. Following my old man here was all I ever wanted. Never saw myself as anything else. Tried picturing myself as a husband, a father once, but nah. I wouldn't know how to raise a kid. I'd just mess them up. Like father, like son, I guess. Well, no, of course not. We're not priestesses of the All-Mother. A woman can be an old crone and still devote herself to the All-Mother. But a man's got to have some fight left in him to be a keeper. Old enough to hold a sword, young enough to not break under its weight. We all got different roles around the keep, sure. But at the core, we're warriors. Don't forget that. See you around.
Oh, Mother have mercy. Not another one. If I let you pass, will you promise not to make any trouble? That's just my luck. Take the post, Tiernan, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap. There's always something. If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people. The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But I've got no way to fix it. Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something. I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of? You do that? That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. There are bigger problems, but it'd be a start. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even uses boats. But, well, you know how it is with old folks. Once they get fixated on something, there's no point in arguing. I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, I could teach you a thing or two about home decor. Not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well, we all have our secrets. Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed in a glorified fish bucket, but I've got a thing for furniture. The only thing more mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds. So, well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep. Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as Tiernan the Grumbler. But hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just happens to be daydreaming about nicer chairs. Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. I know Mahone can be a piece of shit sometimes, but gods. Now both of them are sick, and Haber's got no clue what's wrong. Which is the only reason that refugee isn't dead yet. So, he's sitting in a cage. His wife's crying all day, and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it all. Ugh. Oh, she's a real piece of work, that one. Her name's Lady Elisa. Something. I don't remember. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her, I'd just end up being a keeper all over again. No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd be a laughingstock. I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday, right? So whether it's me or them, at least my problems will be over. No, not really, fortunately.
Bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Duras freeloaders? I bloody knew it. Retirement my arse. It's shit. Never a moment of peace. At least when I was still working, there was always something to do. Now, So, what you want? One day, my boy got it into his stupid head that old Gaban is ill. Bullshit! They're all telling me I should do something about it, or else I'm done for. I'll be dead as a doornail in no time. Ha! Like hell I will. I'm still here, ain't I? I've served my time. I've lived me life. And now you can all kiss my arse. So there. Peace and quiet. Good one. I'll only have my peace and quiet when I'm finally dead. And that ain't gonna happen soon. At least when I'm with Finley, I don't need to listen to his nagging. Listen. They wanted Heber, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs, no idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. Yeah, right. Aye, he'd better focus on his job. You sure have a lot of questions. Grab me a drink first, then we'll see. Ah. So, what was your question? Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's my helper at most. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something, but I don't understand shit. You're digging a little deep, aren't you? Bring me a drink, and I'll consider talking. Ah. It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. Getting a bit too interested, aren't you? Bring a drink over, and I might share. Ah. You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. You used to come here with a mission, not to run away from your bloody mother. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them, or they think the Orns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction. Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore, and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business. Why the sudden interest? Maybe if you bring me a drink, I'll humor you. And you can kiss my arse. I ain't spilling my guts to strangers. Drinking buddies, though. If there's something you want to know, you'll need to treat me first.
Beer from Kunacht, wine from Farshire.
What's with all the questions? Get me a drink and my... Ah. So, what was your question? I'm starting to like you, stranger. And trust me, it's been a long time since I liked... well, anybody. I like me brothers in arms back in my glory days. Good lads, every damn one of them. Tough as nails, loyal to a fault. The kind of men you'd want beside you in the darkest holes of Avalon. But they're gone now, all of them. The old captain got it in his head to send us down to rediscover some mouldy tunnels under the keep. Damn fool mission that was. We went in together, but I was the only one to come back out. I can still see all their faces when I close my... A hard loss it was. but I'm still here. Though some days I wonder why. What's got you so nosy? Pour me a drink, and I might open up. Ah. Those tunnels, right. Well, me and the lads went down there to check if we could repurpose them under the Horns. Damn full mission that was. But here wasn't just some empty caves. There were monsters, straight out of Age of Legends. Sick stuff. Stuff that get under your skin. Looked like... Ah, hell. Memory's all twisted up now. Like a bloody nightmare mixed with shadows that don't belong. Want to know more? Speak with Fergus. He's in charge of this shit show now. Now, I propose a toast to those lost souls. This one's on me. Peace, you say? Problem is, sometimes I think they never died. They haunt me in my dreams, you know? Bloody bastards. I swear I wanted to go back and retrieve their bodies. But our late captain, like Grindelows piss on his grave, forbade me from going back. But when I drink, I usually pass out, and then I don't remember my drinks. So, I drink. Ah, my brothers deserved better.
Nothing changes. Nothing ever will. Just passing through.
If you're sneaking, do it better.
Each day feels heavier.
If you're sneaking, do it better.
Nothing changes. Nothing ever will. Whatever you're up to, good luck. Each day feels heavier. Each day feels heavier. Didn't think anyone would stop by.
I wish Morris were here with me already. Do you need help settling in, dear? This isn't the best day to start a new life in this place, but we don't always get to choose, do we? What a nasty business with that boy. I'm almost glad my Morris isn't here for this. He's such a bleeding heart. Oh, I'm not sure, love. I don't move around too much. I just heard about that fight with the road keeper, and now poor Cole's locked up in a cage. Him and Patrice make such a lovely young couple. They remind me of Morris and me when we were their age. I'm sorry, dear. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm still not used to all this. You see, I was born in Little Grove and thought I would live out the rest of my life there. working in the orchards in the mornings and drinking warm cider with my beloved in the evenings. We never wanted to see the world. I guess sometimes the world doesn't give us a choice, does it? That's what people say, but I never agreed. I weathered many storms with my Morris, coming out stronger each time. Avalon taught us to cherish the little joys of our everyday life. Without those lessons, we wouldn't have survived what happened to our village. Little Grove was raided by bandits, a local gang that had been terrorizing the area for months, growing in numbers with each raid. Their leader, Bald Kate they called her, somehow got hold of a branding iron used to mark outlaws. After pillaging a village, she'd brand some men and women of her choosing. That way, Kate made sure nobody would ever help them, and that they'd have no choice but to turn to her if they wanted to survive. My Morris used to be a skilled tanner. I guess that's why she picked him. It is, isn't it? Kate is nothing if not resourceful. It's a shame she doesn't put that talent into helping people instead of hurting them. I don't know. The keeper at the gate turned Morris away because of the brand on his face. I would have left with him, but I was sick and exhausted from the journey, so I promised to join him when I got better. Except now, I've no idea where to find him. No, he only promised that he'd find somewhere safe, but I'm not sure if there is any such place left in the south. Oh, Mother bless you, my dear. That's all I could ask for. Please, let me know as soon as you learn anything. At first, it wasn't so bad, but now it gets worse every day. We just sit around here, doing nothing. Don't get me wrong, we have food, we have a roof over our heads, and we're grateful for that. But no one trusts us enough to let us do any work. None of us wants to be a freeloader, as they call us. I wouldn't mind a task or two to earn my keep and to take my mind off my troubles. I might not be all hale and hearty, but I've still got two good hands, which is more than you can say about some of the codgers living here. Be careful out there, love.
What's left for someone like me? Just passing through.
You've come to put me in the cage. Sorry. Just a bit of grim humor. You know, about what's been happening here. Such a mess, isn't it? Cola's all right, and Beatrice, what a shame. Such a fine girl. Anyway, I'm Ellis. Nice to meet you. What do you need? Well, I'm Ellis. Goldsmithing is my life and passion. And between you and me, I feel like I'm losing my mind without it. When I hold tools and make beautiful things, it feels like I can bring some light into this wretch. So, here I am, sitting on my ass in some village listening to waves and the screams of seagulls and old men. I was working as a goldsmith in a group of, let's call them business people. I was once traveling with a caravan that got attacked by them. Their chief was a smart guy. The moment he heard I was a goldsmith, he knew what to do with me. He got me converting all the jewelry they stole into new pieces. Do you want to hear what I did once? Ah, come on. They were just people. They treated me well and respected my work. Everyone thinks that every bandit is a heartless murderer. We went to Timberwall. The gang wanted to rob some merchant's house. We holed up in a seedy tavern and waited for the right moment. Then, one night they broke in, came back with a whole load of trinkets. Beautiful stuff. The moment I saw it all, I instantly knew. They gave me a couple of days. I tinkered for a bit, and then, ta-da! Brand new merchandise. After I was finished, I dressed myself all nice, went to that merchant's house and went, "Good morning, kind sir. I'm a goldsmith. My work is renowned in all of Camelot. Would you be interested in what I have to offer?" You know what he said? "Of course I would." That nonce bought the entire lot, even though I inflated the prices like a street peddler. And when I came back, the others couldn't believe their eyes. I thought I was gonna keel over. I miss that.
Each day feels heavier. They said it would get easier. Oh, it's you. Each day feels heavier. Didn't think anyone would stop by.
I've already told you I'm not going anywhere. If you want something from me, then... Oh. I don't know you. I'm Dugald. You're not one of us.
You could have chosen a better time to come here. kind of poor ambience, if you know what I mean.
Well, at least we have a roof over our heads. My boy Frang and I came here with the others. We left our village because we had to. Well, I had, but Frang is a good lad, so he came with me. I
found the poor sod at the mill, sleeping in the hay. He was chilled to the bone back then, but I could tell he'd be a strong lad once he thawed out. He used to help out on the farm.
He's young, but he already has a couple of tattoos. Tribal ones. Means he must have been cast out of the Del Rita.
At first, people in our village gave him dirty looks. But then they realized he wasn't a bandit.
He was a good, hard-working kid. Then they started to treat him as one of their own. Frang is a quiet boy, and he doesn't talk much about himself. I feel like those days with the Reader are long buried for him. Almost like he never lived them. Roscree. Few shacks and a small field of grain. I was a miller back there. My daughter married a good, hard-working man. Eventually, I gave them the mill.
Still helped around, but wanted to let the young folks learn how to work there. Then this kid, Frang, came along. Everything seemed to be going pretty well.
Of course, something happened. Life here can't just be bearable. Oh no. Everything has to get screwed up somehow. That's the way it goes in this cursed land. My dear Trina and her bairn. They got caught by a weird beast. I started to hit the bottle, and finally, my son-in-law kicked me out. I left Roscree, and so did Frang. He says he has some kind of life debt, and he won't leave me alone until one of us drops dead. I'm sorry too. To be honest, I'm a bit confused about what's going on. Usually it was me who yelled at everyone, and now I feel like a drudge. And this nasty thing with Coll. Poor lad. Shouldn't have ended like that. He and Beatrice got along very well. Let me tell you something. When I saw all these wrinklies around here, I thought this place would suit me. But then all this shit happened. I suspect we won't stay here long.
Something happened. Frang listens. I'm not from anywhere. Frang is attached to nowhere. I found a home with Dugald. I owe him a life debt. Frang was never a dull reader. Not without a name. Without a name, you are nobody in the tribe. Like me. And if that lasts too long, you must leave. I left and became Frang. Frang. A name, and not a name. Nothing happened to Frang. A stray, taken in by a miller. That's all. Frang cannot be a Dalriada. His mother was. But the tribe decided that he was not worthy of a name. That is why he is not of the tribes. Conquer. Wolf. Strong. Important name. Not seen in the south for a long time. Must be dead. A place without a leader. As I see it, it will finally fall apart. One way or another. There are no tales about a place that survived without a strong leadership. And it's not about kings, nobleshites, or chieftains. Titles are just words that pull the wool over a man's eyes. What's needed is a strong soul with a strong name. And their names mean as much as Frang's, which is to say, nothing. Now they're a bit like Frang. Strays with no home. Beatrice is strong, despite what happened with Cole. Ellis? He's funny. I like him. Rawson? I know nothing about her. And Dugald? A man who became Frang's father. He has my gratitude. Don't bother. Frang never met the Keepers. But the unnamed boy did. Once, a few of them, many years ago, we fought. The unnamed boy survived even though he showed fear. Shouldn't do that. The Keepers approached the camp of the boy's people, but that past does not belong to Frang. I'm Frang.
The sun doesn't rise the same.
You need something?
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. So you really don't know? If you're not from here, I'm not sure what could have brought you to this hellhole. But you have my sympathies. Just know that Cole isn't like that. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole. But now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. Surprising, isn't it? It seems that Quartermaster Fergus banned any kind of vigilante behaviour. And the local healer said he wants to make sure whatever made Cole this way isn't contagious. So as long as that question remains unanswered, we're at a standstill. But honestly, if anything happens to that keeper, I have no doubt Cole will be killed and will be thrown out of the keep. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realized everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time it only got worse. No, only that, well, it didn't make much sense, but he was convinced that something bit him. He kept checking. It must have been some bug. Something changed by the weirdness that must have caused his fever, his insanity. Well, it was pretty typical. We started a fire and threw some cobwebs into it. Frang brought them back from one of his treks. That boy could always find them somehow. It was our protection from the night and the weirdness. Ellis was on watch that day, but from what he told us, he eventually fell asleep. We were lucky no one slit our throats. We set up camp near the Arch Spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world.
The sun doesn't rise the same anymore.
Remain vigilant.
I'm hungry. I just help.
Oh, it's you. Did you hear? The keeper was cured. Cole wasn't so lucky. He's fallen into a strange state. A while ago, one of Fergus's men came by and told us your bloody lucky Mahon got better. And that's the only reason we're still allowed to stay in the village. He just sits there, staring. He doesn't notice anyone. It's almost as if all the life inside him is frozen. Even the part of him that was full of aggression. I had a feeling something might change with your involvement. I knew you'd find something. I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could thank you. But right now, I just don't have the strength. You tried, and that means a lot. It's hard, and I don't think I can properly show my gratitude. I'm sorry. I've been wondering why I should stay. But then I realised that Cole is still here. He's not himself, but his body is still here. His face. I can't leave him alone. Most of them wanted Cole dead, but Fergus forbade anyone from interfering. Since Mahon is getting better, he decided that Cole's fate is in our hands. But if anyone else raises a hand against him, they'd be sentenced, as if for murder. That cooled the tempers of the keepers and lessened the open hostility from the villagers. Besides, you've seen him. He hasn't moved much in the past few hours. I can't abandon him. Even if he's not exactly the Cole I knew, he still looks like him. I won't ask you to end his agony. How could I? I'll take care of him for as long as he lives. And then, I don't know. I'll probably leave this godforsaken place. Sure. Easier. They say time heals all wounds. But this one feels like a wound that will always fester. One I can never forget.
buy something or bugger off. Unless you've already bought from Orla. Then just bugger off.
Pursue potential customers. Listen here, pal. Clearly you don't understand how trading works in a place like this.
I've no idea where you come from, but here, it's the potential customer who needs to pursue the vendor. And that vendor decides to sell to them or not.
It's the vendor who makes the decision, not the other way around. How many people here do you think are offering to exchange goods for coins? I'll tell you, not bloody many.
Yeah, Orla. A woman merchant from the keep. Go on, try giving her your money. I bet she'll just shortchange you and call it a day. She has no wit and no finesse when it comes to trading. I wouldn't mind knowing that myself. She stole a lucrative business contract out from under me and my family, then made herself at home here. Damn those timber wall merchants.
Everyone's always yammering about Timberwall. Timber this, timber that. Bugger them all. Remember, good business, only with Connacht. Fair prices, no bullshit. I just told you, a business contract. It's an agreement. Two sides. One sells, the other pays. Sometimes you can also exchange material goods. A barter transaction.
But anyway, it fell through. The captain'd rather deal with that woman. Good riddance to him. Well, it's all water under the bridge now. Yes, Connacht. From a merchant family, to be specific. Though I've always wanted to join the Royal Geographers. To chart the uncharted.
But I broke my leg. Badly enough that I couldn't travel anymore.
After the accident, I was stuck at home, sitting on my ass, and
when that contract I told you about fell through, I stayed here for a bit. Lost track of time. My brother got worried, so he came looking for me. I told him I'm not going back empty-handed.
So he said we might as well do business here then. He helped me set up the shop, then left for home. You've never heard of them? They're a guild of explorers, dating back to the age of... They travel across Avalon, documenting all the lost and forgotten places, crawling through hidden caves, discovering old ruins. That's what LSA and I dreamed of. Though, only one of us got to live it. Oh yeah? Maybe you wouldn't know a good thing if it bit you right in the ass. I swear, people these days. Well, a friend from back home. It was a long time ago. We were both snot. We'd run around Connacht, drawing maps of every corner we could find. And on the farms, LSA insisted on marking every stone in the fields. My mother used to get on my ass for wasting so much paper and charcoal. Good time. She got in with the geographers, started running errands for them. Well, it was right after my accident. I might have
acted a bit rashly. Said some things I shouldn't have. You know how it goes. We stopped talking, and then she left Connacht. Haven't seen her since. First thing I did when I arrived was ask the locals what this village is called. And they just said, wait for it, the village. There's also a sunken village nearby. So I asked them what that one was called, and they said, the Sunken Village. So I asked what it was called before it was flooded, and they told me, the village. How do you even work with that? Long enough to know what sells. Not that I'd mind having a wider selection of goods, you know. Some more options on offer. But people here don't need much, so what you see is all I have. Then there's the refugees. For now, I guess they're good business. But long term, doubt it. Sooner or later, they'll run out of money. They don't have any way to earn it since no one wants them here. They'll get kicked out, or they'll just leave and not come back. But there'll be others around to keep the businesses running, more or less.
wanderer in the sunken village. You must be lost. Back in the day, you just needed to look at the stars and you'd know where you were going. Now, even they are misplaced. I guess I'm just an old man listening to the sound of the sea. Every wave carries a story, you know. Some are whispers, others are roars. I like to think they're keeping me company. Long ago, I decided to wait for something to happen. So I'm waiting for what's ahead of me. But I can feel that it's closer than ever. Everything that's around us, it's not yet the end. And that thought really bothers me. Monsters? I think you misunderstand. I don't see any monsters here, only lost villagers, still clinging to their home. It's sad, but as you can see, not much depends on us. The world just keeps on happening, and you happen along with it. They were given some time, which they've tried to use as much as they could. That's all. I'm glad they allow me to stay here despite what happened. I like this place. It's the cycle of life. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you're afraid, it means you're struggling with something too much, my friend. Sometimes you just need to sit and look. Watch everything turn. The sunken village was not always sunken, but one day someone, undoubtedly important, made a decision, undoubtedly necessary, that it would be better to make it so. So the wave came and made the village into the sunken village, and its inhabitants, well, you can see for yourself. I know that some druids did it. Specific individuals, although their names have long been forgotten. This is no great mystery, my friend. You'd have to ask those responsible for the flood. Who knows what's going through people's heads? Maybe someone ordered them to do it. You'll never know. That's a good question. Maybe they burnt during the Charred Conclave. Maybe not. Nevertheless, the punishment was delivered and justice prevailed. Once again, the world was made a better place. At least that's what those who set fire to the stakes preach. All in the name of the Word. Among others, this wouldn't have happened if not for Camelot's desperation. Many tragic decisions were made. I don't know if the word was so unambiguous or if its interpretation failed. What happened on the fields of the Charred Conclave wasn't just about the flood, my friend. It was about things and forces we don't understand. Long ago enough for people to have no chance of discovering why it happened. And yet, recently enough that this place still reminds us of it. Now the village is what it is. and the past has washed away. At least it can still be home for them. And I'll stay and look. These are interesting times. I have everything I need. The entire world in one place. Before you go, I would like to ask you one thing. Who are you? I understand. I see you, I hear you, and I have a feeling that you will find what you are looking for. Farewell, and thank you for visiting me, my friend. You can come keep me company whenever you want. The sunsets here are beautiful.
not working. Not right.
nice to have a break.